What up, what up? This is Mr. Nice with Kung Fu Fanta, and today we're going to do a reaction on Floyd Wallace Jr., who was recently arrested a little over a week ago in Brazil. But before I go any further, I got a few people I see in the chat. Go ahead and what up, what up? This is Mr. Nice with Kung Fu Fanta, and today we're going to do a reaction on Floyd Wallace Jr., who was okay, so never mind. I know the audio is working. I was going to ask for an audio test, so just one moment. Floyd Wallace Jr., who is... One moment. Okay, so I see I got a few people in the chat. What we're going to do is we're going to go through a series of videos and news articles. And basically, I'm making this so people can understand that in Kenya mainly and other parts of Africa, that this guy, Floyd Wallace Jr., almost made it to Africa. So from what I gather, he didn't make it to Africa because he had some court dates in the United States. This is all prior to his arrest in Brazil, just a little over a week ago. So what I'm hoping that this is gonna do is that we're gonna go ahead and get the attention of the Kenyan police as well as some other departments out there in other different countries. And I really do appreciate for all the reactions that people have been doing from pretty much all over the United States and a few other countries. This is a great opportunity to expose these predators that are preying on our children, preying on our women in different countries, preying on other countries' women. It's not right. It's not right. So for those who follow me closely, I just had a live stream on the 28th of December, which was Sunday, and that was with jrello talking about Floyd. And of course, we talked a little bit about him and his involvement in Kenya, but that's not really the focus here. The main focus is to get Kenyans aware of who almost came to Kenya and most likely would have ended up trafficking children in Kenya. Okay? So I guess from what I gather, a few or maybe one court date that he had to go to in the United States is what kept him from going to Kenya in the first place. You all know that if you watch Austin Holloman is residing in Nairobi, passport bro, and with him, he traveled with this Floyd character for a long time. I think Austin said it was about 6 weeks. So 6 weeks is still a long time. They went to about 6 different countries, and I got at least 5 of those countries listed in the title that they went to together. We're going to look a little bit at that. We're going to look at a GoFundMe for Floyd. We're going to also look at some other information that y'all don't know that's going on. And I really invite the authorities in Brazil to go ahead and watch this, or if anybody is going to be watching this, you can forward it on to them, as well as the Colombian police. When this first broke, before I get started here, when this first broke, I thought this was probably only going to stay within Brazil, for the simple fact, a little over a year ago, there was a guy from California that went to Colombia, and his story stayed in Colombia, and he's pretty much arrested for almost the identical thing as Floyd. The only place in the United States that picked up his story, and he comes from a small town somewhere in California, in the Northern California. They picked up the story, but said very little about it. So it didn't make nationwide news. Pretty much the story was buried in Colombia, but he's doing like 30 years in prison right now. 30 years, and that's where he belongs. So right now we got to say, allegedly, this is what Floyd has done. But after this live stream, and it's going to be a long live stream, so it's definitely not going to be short. So I ask that you stick around and be patient. and look at some of the stuff that you've probably already seen, but there's probably going to be a few things that you have not seen. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pull up the web browser and get this rolling. All right, so let's see here. Okay, share the screen. All right, let's see here. Work with some new software, so sorry for the delay, guys. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so let's first start off with Floyd actually being arrested in Brazil, and I think this was on the 8th. Excuse me, the 18th of December. So let's go ahead. This is the beginning. This is dubbed in English, so we're not going to be listening to anything in Portuguese. And let's go.
You're being arrested for a child exploration by the police officer. Okay? That's it. That's it.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read the article. I think this is probably the first article that came out after that news feed we saw there. This is from G1 down in Brazil. I got it translated in English. So in Rio de Janeiro, find out who the American YouTuber arrested on suspicion of sexual crimes against minors in Rio is. Known in the U.S. for confrontations with police, Floyd Wallace Jr. accumulated a criminal record in more than 13 states before becoming a target of an investigation of sexual crimes in Brazil. So this was on the 23rd that this article came out. There's Mr. Floyd right there. They took this image from him, from his YouTube channel, I believe, like one of his thumbnails. It goes on to say, investigated for the rape of a vulnerable person and facilitating the sexual exploitation of children in Rio de Janeiro. The American Floyd L. Wallace Jr. is also known in the United States as a YouTuber involved in a series of confrontations with the police, arrest, and judicial controversies in several states. So basically, for those who might not know what that is, there's some weird people that do these things, kind of like cop watches. And he belongs to a group, because there's more than one person doing this, that go up to the police, fire departments, sometimes even hospitals, and antagonize the staff. And antagonizing the police could be a very dangerous situation. So this is the type of thing that he was doing in America. So it's another YouTube channel that he has. I'm not going to go and play anything from that YouTube channel. We're just going to stick with him in this report. All right, so let's see here. Before being arrested in Brazil, He gained notoriety on the internet by recording police encounters under the pretext of exercising constitutional rights, while accumulating criminal records for resisting arrest, assaulting officers, and disorderly conduct. Wallace Jr., born on December 17, 1995, was arrested last Monday on the 22nd, okay, so it was 22nd, in the Liberdade neighborhood in the center of Sao Paulo, in a joint operation by the civil police of Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. Investigations indicate that he allegedly used ride-calling apps like Uber, fake profiles, and social media to lure and sexually exploit children and teenagers in Rio de Janeiro. YouTuber known for clashes with police in the United States, Floyd Wallace Jr. maintains a YouTube channel under the name Omaha Cop Watch. So that's the name of the channel. It's still up as far as I know, where he presents himself as a photographer and defender of the First Amendment of the American Constitution. He defines himself as a constitutional auditor, a common practice among content creators who film police encounters to question the legality of the officer's actions. Okay, so this is an image of him being arrested by a police officer that he was antagonizing. I have seen one video where he was antagonizing the building of a fire department, and the police officer came up, and the police officer was about to draw his gun, because with situations like that and the way he was acting, you never know what they're going to do to you. Okay, so it goes on to say, in the channel description, Wallace claims to be exercising his right to freedom of speech and privacy, guaranteed by the First and Fourth Amendments, and says that the content is not intended for children. Despite the rhetoric, American news outlets report a long list of incidents involving direct confrontations with law enforcement, prisons, and convictions. Reports forwarded by the United States authorities to Brazilian security forces. See, they're working together. I've heard a few people, which I don't understand how they can believe it. They think that the United States is not working with the Brazilian authorities and vice versa. That is definitely not true. Most people don't believe that, but that is definitely not true for the ones who do. Okay, indicate that Wallace Jr. has a criminal record in more than 13 U.S. states with charges including resisting arrest, assaulting a police officer, and disorderly conduct. He is classified as a highly dangerous individual with a recommendation for a cautious approach. Among the best-known cases is the arrest in Cape Coral, Florida in 2022 when he was hit with a stun gun after refusing to obey police orders. At the time, he was carrying a black case near a fire station, which led witnesses to call the police for fear of a possible attack. The charges were eventually dropped, and Wallace claimed he was exercising his right to remain anonymous. In Norma, Oklahoma, Wallace was convicted of assaulting a police officer. The trial suffered repeated delays due to missed hearings and frequent travel by the defendant. In 2025, following a plea agreement, a mugshot was released by local authorities. There was also a record of an arrest for robbery in Omaha, Nebraska in 2016, in addition to other episodes documented by websites specializing in trafficking the activity of cop watchers in the USA. Self-proclaimed sex tourist, and yes, he did proclaim on his social media that he's a sex tourist. So he's admitting what he is. During monitoring in Brazil, investigators identified that Wallace Jr. self-identifies on his own digital channels as a sex tourist and passport bro. The expression is used to describe men, usually from developed countries, who travel to poor regions with the stated goal of having sexual relations, exploiting economic and social inequalities. According to the police, Wallace made posts claiming to travel to Latin America countries for this purpose, rejecting emotional ties and demonstrating awareness of legal risk. So basically, when he was rejecting emotional ties, if anybody actually liked him, to be in a relationship with him, possibly even get married to him, he was totally rejecting that. He was only there to pay to play, and that was it. Let's see here. Demonstrating awareness. Okay, so let's see here. Emotional ties and demonstrating awareness of the legal risk, stating that he avoided producing certain content so as not to be arrested. Research in Brazil. The investigation that led to the arrest of the American began after a technical report from CyberLab, an agency of the Ministry of Justice, was sent to the civil police of Rio de Janeiro. The document warned of the possible sexual exploitation of minors by a foreign citizen in the capital of Rio de Janeiro. So as you can see right here, when they raided that room that we saw in the video, the lady officer, these are the things that she was pulling out of his bag. Now, there's more things to the right, but it's not really much. So the paraphernalia that he has 2 dolls there. One's a stuffed doll, one's a puppet that you put in your hand. Looks like he's got a speaker there. He's got a couple of DJI cameras, a GoPro camera. He's got an Apple Watch with a camera in it. He's got 5 mobile phones, a bunch of SD cards, a few storage devices, as well as battery chargers and a laptop. And as you can see on the far right, he's got what appears to be a ski mask, which Brazil right now is warm. You don't need to be wearing anything like that. He's not in Omaha, Nebraska, where it's probably snowing right now. So I don't know why he would have a ski mask. But those are the things that she pulled out of his bag. Okay, and starting point was the complaint filed by a ride-hailing driver. So we're talking about an Uber driver on December 8th. So that's when the first call went in about him, and they started investigating from that point forward in 2025. According to the report, the user identified as Terry William requested a ride in the Jacare neighborhood, I guess that's how you pronounce it, in the north zone of Rio. Upon arriving at the location, the driver realized the passengers were 2 underage girls. During the trip, the teenagers said they were being taken to meet an older foreign man who did not speak Portuguese. They were unable to clearly explain who the man was or where they were going, which led to the driver to contact the company's support team and register the incident as a hazardous situation. Fake profiles and suspicious rides. Following the complaint, Uber launched an internal investigation and identified that the same user had created and used multiple accounts with fictitious names or those of third parties. The analysis revealed a pattern of ride requests for children and teenagers, mainly girls, in different areas of Rio. In another incident on December the 18th in 2025, a ride requested by the same profile transported 4 teenage girls, all under 18 years of age, from the Rocha neighborhood in Santo Cristo in the central region of the city. Okay. All right. So it says here, it continues on and says, the cross-referencing of data with support from the U.S. Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, made it possible to identify the user Terry William was in fact Floyd L. Wallace Jr. Okay. Prisons in Sao Paulo. On December 20th, investigators identified that Wallace had left Rio and traveled to Sao Paulo, with evidence suggesting he might flee the country. The Rio de Janeiro Civil Police requested a temporary arrest warrant, search, and seizure warrant, data breach warrant, and passport retention warrant from the court, all in which were authorized. Okay, I'm not going to play this video right here. I don't even know what it is. Oh, yeah, I see what it says underneath there. So I'm not going to play that. Okay, the arrest took place in rural Conselheiro, Furtado. And from what I gather, that's supposed to be in like a Japanese community. So I'm not sure about that, but that's what I heard from one particular YouTuber who said he got information from somebody that stays in that area. Neighborhood. Following a joint operation between the civil police forces of the two states, according to the police, Wallace resisted arrest and had to be subdued. Okay, so let me do something here. All right, so basically, this, like I said, I think is probably the first article that broke, given all these details about Floyd and why he was arrested, given some background on him and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and continue on to one of his buddies in America that started a GoFundMe for him. So here's the GoFundMe, and you can see the person, the Caucasian on the left. That's a lady who's doing those cop watch videos just like he did back here in the United States. And what's disturbing is that she's actually mentally ill. So we got to read this. Nobody has donated. It's been up for probably at least 3 days. And let's see here. So this is what she's saying. And I think she wants to raise $5,000 here. Let's see. She says, my good friend Floyd Wallace Jr. was falsely accused and arrested in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brazilian prisons are notoriously harsh, characterized by extreme overcrowding, inhumane conditions, rampant violence and disease, and the lack of infrastructure, leading to widespread human rights abuses, exploitation by gangs, and reliance on family for help. Floyd has no family and real friends. I'm trying to raise $5,000 for a trip to Brazil to check on the well-being of Floyd Wallace Jr. I have been in close touch with the U.S. Embassy, and they anticipate my arrival. Nobody anticipates her arrival. This. I'm going to show you a video of her, and she's like totally unhinged. She may have called the U.S. Embassy, but nobody at the U.S. Embassy is awaiting her arrival. So this is just fictitious rubbish that she's printed up in here. Okay, so to make this trip, I'm going to have to get a passport, so she doesn't already have a passport. Who plans a trip that doesn't already have a passport? Passports take weeks to get. And if you do the expedited passport, I think that's like 3 weeks or less. There's some weeks involved if you pay the extra money for that. Which is something that I don't want to do. So why would you even go to, or even try to attempt to raise $5,000 to go to Brazil if you don't want to get a passport? So she says here, I never ever wanted to leave the United States, but unfortunately, somebody's got to do it to check on this young man. Anything extra will be given to Floyd to help with his defense or anything he needs while being incarcerated overseas. In Brazil, they arrest you before they investigate you. And that's not what happened. He was being investigated before he was arrested. So she's lying there. So we're going to go to a video that I found on Facebook. It's from her YouTube channel that doesn't seem to exist anymore that I can find. So if that's the case, she probably broke some YouTube guidelines and got her channel taken down. Let's go ahead and listen to this. Make sure the volume is on.
Somebody needs a ticket. Hey, Mr. Weaver! Here's somebody you can give a ticket to. This perfect guy. This is a guy that gave me a ticket. Come here, Mr. Weaver. This guy's parked illegally. Someone needs to give him a ticket. Mr. Weaver, come back! Mr. Weaver! Wow, that's the guy that gave me the parking ticket. And I asked him to give this guy a parking ticket, and he completely ignored me. Woo! God works in mysterious ways. He's the perfect guy to give the ticket. He's in ticket training, right? Come on, man, let's do this.
Your badge number. State your name and your badge number. You asked me what my shit was. You gotta stand on your shit. You're supposed to be the police. What's your badge number? What's your name? Exactly.
How do you look at yourself in the mirror, liar? You're a liar. 721 is a liar. Disgrace to the badge. Lying. 22 feet. You know you lying. Liar. 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 You better pay that $25. You owe me $25, you liar.
Okay, so we can obviously see this is somebody that doesn't have it all upstairs. Just like Floyd was somebody, when we watched him over and over again, he didn't have it all upstairs. There's another guy that I've seen him with in one of those videos. Probably is the same way. He is one of the guys that was helping Floyd film while he was antagonizing the police officers in Omaha, Nebraska. But this is the only person that reached out to try to do a GoFundMe. It didn't work out for her, and I'm glad. And this actually should be reported. So her name is Lisa Sowa, organizer in Brookline, Missouri. So this is a couple people have reacted on this, but not many people have brought out the person who actually was putting up the fundraiser for Floyd. So this is not going to work. It's not going to fly. All right. Now, I want to show everybody this because this is what these passport bros do. This is what they do. This is a short film of this guy from the States, and he's filming what appears to be a prostitute. It's probably in the DR. And he's antagonizing her. So just like Floyd was antagonizing the police, this guy, whoever he is antagonizing a citizen of a country that holds a visa, which is a visitor's visa. Excuse me. When I can't hear myself talk, I kind of slur. So check this out, guys. This is crazy.
Where? Whoa.
So you see that? You see what these guys are doing? Filming without permission. And this has been an issue that I've seen a lot, especially in Kenya, because Kenya is also where I live, and not just in the United States. And I'm married there. And what I've been seeing online is just notoriously with these YouTubers, whether they're passport bros or not, is that they'll film locals without their permission. And I have seen other YouTubers do the exact same thing, or maybe somebody is just doing it for IG in other countries in South America as well as Asia. And this is a problem. I mean, sometimes, man, especially in places like Nairobi, I mean, you can end up in a body bag. People don't like to be filmed. And so I don't know how serious it is in this country where this guy is, but people don't like to be filmed. And they have no respect for that. And they think they have every right to film anybody, anywhere, especially when they go outside of the United States. And they think that United States privileges is going to follow them. No, what follows you from the United States is the rules of the United States. So, for example, these guys like to brag about age of consent of the women they want to sleep with in all these different countries. Well, for an American citizen, it's 18 no matter what. So it's 18 in the U.S., and that 18 goes with you when you cross the border. And if you're caught with an underage person in a country where the age limit or the age of consent is 14, and you're from the United States, and the American authorities find out, you will be arrested for that because you didn't follow the rules. You committed a crime against the United States, basically, and then against the country that no matter what their age of consent is, for you, it's 18, no matter what. All right, so let's go to the next one here. All right, so this is a lady from Brazil that she took down another video, but she's got another one up. Now, she's talking about age of consent in Brazil. This is what everybody really needs to listen to. I might intervene a couple times here and there as she's talking. Let me go ahead and turn up the audio. All right, let's get going.
Hello, everyone. It's disgusting to me to talk about it, but I have to give you some explains. And after this video, you can do your own researches. Well, let me explain about the law of consent. Okay. Probably you heard about it, but maybe you don't understand so well how this law work in Brazil. And it's very, very, very complicated. But I will explain. Hopefully you can understand. Our law of consent works like that. Teenagers between 14 and 18 years old, they are free to date and have sex if they want. Okay? If they want. If you force.
Okay, so she made it very clear that the age of consent is between 14 and 18 there in Brazil with the teenagers, if there's consent, if they want. Now, that's a point that she's making very clear, but pay close attention what follows up after this. Everybody needs to listen to this.
To have a sex with them, it's a crime. If you offer them money to have a sex, it's a crime.
So she's got 2 points. If you force them or if you offer them money, it's a criminal act.
If you try to take them for a travel or go anywhere without your parents, their parents' permission, it's a crime. If you film them while you're having sex and try to sell it, and they don't know they're being filmed, it's a crime.
Okay, so those are 2 extra points. I mean, this is what a lot of these passport bros are doing. They're doing the opposite of what she's telling you not to do. So in this video, she's really given the do's and the don'ts. And a lot of these guys, they just don't care. They just don't care. They all need to be locked up in prison. But let's go.
Have a lot of things that you can't do. You can't force anyone to have sex with you. You can't offer money, advantage, nothing. Nothing. You can't say Brazilian women are easy on social media. No, you can't.
Okay, did you hear that? So what did Austin Holloman do? I think it was, 2023 when he was on CNN Brazil? That's pretty much what he relayed, and he told all the guys to get their passports. And he said it in other videos. And one of those videos I'm going to be bringing up today. But let's go.
We women in Brazil, we decide when we want to have sex with somebody else. We decide who will have our permission to have sex with us. You can't force a woman to stay with you in Brazil. This is a crime. This is abusive, sexual abusive. No. You have to understand that, or you will put yourself Very dangerous situation here. You can't take a teenager between 14 and 18 years old to live with you. It's a crime too. You have to have a permission of their parents, even if to date also.
Okay, so I was muted there. Sorry about that. So she pointed out very clearly that between the ages of 14 and 18, you cannot have a teenager in Brazil live with you because you'll end up in jail. It is against the law. No matter what, it's against the law. And a lot of these passport bros, what they do exactly that. And some of these older women and some of the children, from what I understand, is that some of them are tattooed with like a brand, not a tattoo to show off to everybody, but like a brand. And from what I hear, they're part of some prostitution rings that they can't get out of. So I would like to know more about that. So if anybody's from Brazil or anybody can forward me some information about that, that'd be interesting to know. But I have seen some of these girls with like tattoos on the fingers and arms. They didn't look like regular tattoos, but somebody brought that up in a chat. But still, between 14 and 18, they cannot live with you while you're staying in Brazil, period.
Basically, in Brazil, we have this law because teenagers like to date, they like to kiss, they like to stay together, they want to have sex, they feel they want to have sex with another teenager and not with a grown man, an old 40s, 50s, 60s, or 30s. They are thinking in love. They are in love with a young man, with a teenager. This is not a problem. A problem is when you think you can have it if you offer them something. If you, in exchange, offer money, offer good life, offer something to buy their virginity.
Okay, so what she's speaking about right there, check this out, guys. I've said this many a times on the discussion of illegal sex tourism. Okay? And the thing is that these passport bros, so many of them, what they like to do is if they can't find a prostitute or they're not interested in a prostitute, but they're interested in, say, a woman that they see in the mall, and they're not prostitutes, what they'll do is they'll try to make them a prostitute for the day. And because they're interested. So what do? Is they start offering them money right away. They start offering gifts. They start talking about visas to America, and all this other stuff to try to get them to do it for a day. So, and when they get their way with them and they give them a laptop or maybe a couple $100, whatever, or especially with the visa stuff, they leave and these women will never see them again. And these are women that are not prostitutes, but they were prostitutes for a day. Now, Austin Holloman is guilty of this. There's a Rwandan woman. We're not going to get into her story today, but there's a Rwandan woman that he played with her heart for content. And he slept with her and everything and dumped her on purpose. On purpose. And he was proud of it. But let's go.
Okay, it's a crime. So This is a big misunderstanding when people come to Brazil and they think they can do whatever they want with teenagers. And they think it's easy because they are vulnerable. They live in favelas. They want to go to favelas to find the young girls. I know that. But you don't know how hard is this law in Brazil, and very sensitive, very sensitive. I've seen parents going to the jail because they sell little kids, they sell teenagers for money. I've seen men going to the jail because they forced to have a sex with younger girls. I've seen a lot of shit here. Okay? If the parents say no, is no. If the teenagers say no, is no. If they say no, no, I don't want you. I don't want you to give you my body. Respect these words because you can put yourself in very dangerous situation in Brazil. It's very serious here. And it's disgusting to me to talk about it because I'm a mother, I have daughters, I have grandkids, and I can lose my mind if a grown man do shit with somebody else of my family.
And I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. And she's telling you guys, like she actually made this video to talk to the wider passport bro so-called community. That it's when she talks about the danger part of this, you know, there's people, if they find out that you did this and you're not arrested yet, they can take your life. You're in somebody else's country. If they get wind of it, you're done. Look what's been happening in Medellin, Colombia. There's been, I think, over 30 Americans, sex tourists, killed in that area. So don't think it won't start happening in Brazil. You know, they're already disgusted with what Austin had said on camera, and they're disgusted with what Floyd has done here. They've been disgusted with a lot of people, and trust and believe. Don't think just because you may not hear a lot of passport bros from Europe or America or whatever not being unalived in Brazil. Trust and believe, over the years there has been some, and there's going to be more. Trust me, there's going to be more. But let's go.
You know, like a lot of Brazilians, they lose their minds. A lot of Brazilians here, even if gangsters, because gangsters, bandits at the jail, they have kids.
Facts.
And once you be there at the jail with them and they know what you did, oh my gosh. Your life. So I don't know about the Floyd news because today is Sunday and I didn't watch TV yet to know more news about the situation. So if I find something, I will share here with you guys. And also, I will leave below this video article for you read talking about this law of consent in Brazil for you understand, okay? And that is it, guys. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Don't do a mess in my country. I'm trying to teach you the right way to be happy here. Like many American men, they're living in Brazil and they're being happy. They are not putting themselves in trouble. I know not all men are bad. Not all American men or black men are bad. I know that. But people used to generalize, you know. Only because of the fact you are black, people you will do shit with you. So if you really do shit, your life done. Done. It's done. Okay? And I read an article today. Sorry, guys, my battery on my computer low. I read an article today explaining the situation about passport bros. Yeah. Now I'm mention passport bros.
Okay, so she's reading an article. Most likely it's out of Brazil. I don't think I watched this whole video in its entirety before, but read that article. So you got the link in the chat to this video. Go down and get that article and read what it says. Save it for yourself, pass it along to other people.
The police already had informations about passport bros before put Floyd in jail. They were investigating this case since 2023 about somebody else that I don't want to mention his name again. What he did in Brazil and he escaped.
She's talking about Austin Holloman.
Was almost arrested because of the situation. And they started to investigate this movement, Passport Bro, since 2023 after this case. And they started to investigate Floyd after the Uber driver called the Uber because he was suspicious about these younger girls. Yes, they were going to the hotel alone, and no, I told you, between 14 and 18 years old, they are minors, and they need the permission of their parents to go anywhere. To find a grown man without their parents' permission or alone, no, they can't. They can't. That's why the Uber driver called Uber and Uber called the police to investigate this case. And it was...
So I got to shout out to the Uber driver because without him, there's a very, very, very good chance that Floyd would have gotten away with this or gotten away with it for a much longer time. So shout out to that Uber driver.
At the beginning of December, they took almost 1 month investigating everything about Floyd. And it includes the helps of American system. I told you before, they work in silence. They work in silence. They start to do it after somebody called the police. Hey, I saw something very strange. And okay, let's do some research about this guy. Yeah. And once you have that support, they have everything about you. You have document passport? You pass your passport at the airport? Done. They have everything about you. They investigated all of his videos. They investigated his channel, his videos. A video that he was saying, I'm a sex tourist. Yeah, he said that I'm a sex tourist. The police discovered everything. Everything. I told you, they had evidences. Police in Brazil, they work in silence. Once they receive a call, okay, let's do researches about this person. They will follow you, and you don't know. You don't know. Okay? So, guys, that's it. It's disgusting talking about the situation. But unfortunately, it's happened, and no one is talking about the children. Many people are only talking about passport bros. This guy mess up passport bros, but no one is concerned with the children.
Facts. She's telling the truth, because what are the passport bros doing right now? Making constant live streams, getting on panels, and saying that he's messing up our name. So they're more concerned about the name than the children. So sex tourists are more concerned about the name, passport bro, which means sex tourist anyway, created by the Europeans, not created by Americans. Americans thought it was cool, and they coined it and made it some stupid movement. Well, if you really look at it, sex tourism has been around for a long time. It was already a movement, so why put a label on it? Passport bros just means jargon for sex tourist. So these guys picked it up here in the States and then ran with it. Now Brazil has labeled it as a criminal organization. And we have a lot of the passport bro so-called community on YouTube and other platforms taking away the word passport from their name. So they're like, when you turn the light on, they're like a bunch of roaches are just coming out and running everywhere. That's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what she's saying right here. Shout out to her.
No one cares about the children, the poor children. But God cares about. And also, His justice is always right. That's it. Have a great day. See you in my next video.
Okay, so her channel is called About Brazil. Like I said, I left the link to this video in the chat so you can check it out. And definitely check out the article that she left in the description box below that she mentioned. All right, so we're going to get on to the next video. And this is a report of Floyd. So pay close attention. This is a gentleman that lives in, I think, Colombia. And basically he does a lot of translations into English so people can understand. He's a YouTuber. Check him out.
Breaking news. The Brazilian driver responsible for the arrest of YouTuber Floyd Wallace speaks. If you're not familiar with my channel, I report the news for Central and South America with a special attention on Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. I do these videos for those that want to know before they go, as well as for expats that live there and want to hear the news in English. Quick heads up. Americans in Colombia applying for a visa now need an FBI background check. Get yours in 24 to 48 hours using OnCall Colombia. OnCallColombia.com. The information is on the screen as well as in the description of all my videos. Make sure you tell them Rob sent you. Okay, so as the screen comes down, allow me to take a second and say thank you.
Real quick, I want to talk about what he just said. So you now need an FBI background check before entering Colombia. The Passport Bros did that. That's the reason why. It was the Passport Bros. Let's go.
Thank you to all those that support this channel, whether from a super chat, a like, a share, or just kind words in the comment section. You are greatly appreciated. Okay, so in this one, I want to give you a short recap for those that aren't aware of what happens, maybe a couple of small pieces of information added, and then I want you to hear from the Uber driver himself. So to quickly recap for those that aren't aware, YouTuber Floyd Wallace was arrested on December 22nd, 2025 in the Liberdade neighborhood of Sao Paulo, Brazil on suspicion of child exploitation, facilitating the exploitation of minors, and I'll just have to say, assault of a vulnerable person. He faces a potential maximum sentence of up to 34 years in prison if convicted.
Okay, so for the Kenyans that are going to be watching this guy was going to come to Kenya and meet up with his good friend, his buddy, Austin Holloman. He was going to visit Austin Holloman, and he was going to be around Kenyan children and Kenyan women doing these types of things. But let's go. Not saying that Austin's doing that, this guy. But he was going to meet Austin. But something happened that he couldn't come to Africa, so we dodged that bullet, but Brazil didn't dodge that bullet.
The investigation began in Rio de Janeiro after an Uber driver reported suspicious activity in early December 2025. A profile under the alias Terry William later linked to Wallace via cooperation with the U.S. Homeland Security.
Okay, so this is the woman I was speaking about earlier when I was reading the article, and I showed that image of all the things that she was taking out of the bag. So you could see some other things where the TV is, some other things on the floor that didn't go up onto the table. So yeah, this is right after the raid. And this is what the paraphernalia that they're taking out of his bag. He was actually packing, trying to leave. So before they broke in the door, he was actually packing his things. But let's go.
Requested rides for underage girls to hotel locations. Reports mention incidents involving 2 girls on one occasion and 4 on another. Police identified many victims and believe he may have committed similar acts in other countries. He's known to be in Colombia and Brazil. During the arrest, police seized multiple devices, phones, laptop, USB drives, memory cards, a watch with a hidden camera, and other items. Authorities are examining the devices for evidence and investigating possible financing of his travels in exchange for explicit content. Wallace, 30, originally gained notoriety as a First Amendment auditor, filming police confrontations in the U.S. He later rebranded as a self-proclaimed professional sex tourist and passport bro, live streaming his experiences abroad. As of December 30th, 2025, the most recent updates include a December 29 Global News report detailing how the Uber driver's alert triggered the case, with ongoing discussions online communities. And again, of course, the Passport Bro name is all over the place, as well as in the auditor circles. So let's listen to what the Uber driver has to say from his mouth on why and how he ended up turning in Floyd Wallace.
And an attentive driver led to the arrest of an American this week.
Floyd Wallace Jr., 30 years old, was arrested in Sao Paulo for sexual exploitation, facilitating the exploitation of children and adolescents, and of a vulnerable person. The investigation into these crimes began during a ride in Rio de Janeiro, given by this driver, who prefers not to show his face to protect his own family.
When I arrived at the indicated location, right, 2 women, well, let's say 4 girls, came running toward me and got into the back seat. I started to realize that they were actually children, right? When they were in contact with the person who ordered the ride for them, between themselves, they said, no, use Google Translate. And that really caught my attention. So then I started asking a few questions, like, do you know where you're going? And they said, no. That's when the alarm started going off. You know, the warning signs?
The driver says he picked up the girls on December 8th at 9 at night in Jacaré in the north zone of Rio. Their destination was Santa Teresa in the city center.
Then I asked them, do you know the person who ordered the ride for you? Then they said they did. Then they started laughing, amongst themselves. When I asked those kinds of questions, more invasive ones, let's say, they would just laugh among themselves.
At the drop-off point, the person waiting for the two children was Floyd.
I went a little past the address on purpose. He was already outside. Even after I dropped him off, I still didn't feel totally comfortable, I didn't have any evidence. I didn't have any proof of a crime. My biggest worry was this. Did I leave those kids in some kind of extreme danger? I can't just go on with my life, you know what I mean? Without taking some kind of action. I stopped at a gas station and reported it to the platform.
Uber received the report and started an internal investigation to find out who the user was that requested the ride.
They took my statement and then told me, no, look, we're going to take this information, combine it with other details we have here, and inform the authorities.
The police started an investigation.
Uber reported that they had previously performed a thorough analysis of this particular passenger's behavior. And they also found there was a very strong suspicion of sexual exploitation and sex tourism activities. And this time, the first trip we had access to was on December 8th, and the last one was on December 19th, at which point he fled and went to Sao Paulo.
Floyd was arrested at the beginning of the week in the Liberdade neighborhood in Sao Paulo.
So there you go. I give props to everybody who stands up. It doesn't matter if you're here in the United States, if you're the ones in Colombia, the citizens that stood up. There were a few people involved in that incident, I think. But for the Colombians that stood up to protect this young lady, man, props to them. And props to this driver as well. And anybody who stands up, you see wrong, say something about it. Do something about it. Stand up. Get somebody else involved like this gentleman did. So props to this man for standing up. If this person is guilty, he's got some problems ahead.
I want to let people know, too, not just in Kenya, but anywhere where there's an American embassy, and it's an American. If you have proof or suspicion and you make a good case at the U.S. Embassy, you can actually report these guys, because in the U.S. embassies, they have a field office for the FBI. So the FBI will be, you got to make an appointment, but have all your stuff together, have names, addresses, phone numbers, whatever you got. You can turn these guys in, so that way at least some type of investigation is going on. Even if you don't necessarily say, I didn't see a crime like the Uber driver, but if you feel like there's something in your gut that's not right, you can also let them know. Let the local police know. Just let somebody know. But this is what you can do as a citizen of your own country, is you can visit a U.S. embassy if you have one, and you can report people, these passport bros that are doing things like this. Let's go.
Just put it that way. If he is guilty, he's got some problems ahead of him, and it doesn't look good. Anyway, you're up to date. This time, the latest again. This is just an update. If I find any other updates, or you find any updates before you see it from me.
Okay, so shout out to DC for doing this update. Had everything in English so everybody can understand pretty much, because my audience is mostly English speaking. Now here we have Austin. I don't think I'm gonna play this whole video, but I'm gonna play some of it, because when he made this video, this is I think a day or two after the news that Floyd was arrested in Brazil. And remember, this guy is still in Nairobi. Okay? And he was with Floyd for at least 6 weeks and visited about 6 different countries within that time. And he's a good friend with Floyd. But let's go.
Previously, and it is an American man and I'm going to bring up a whole conspiracy to a lot of this stuff. It's an American man, a black American man that has been arrested in Brazil for trying to engage in sex with minors, I guess in Rio from what I saw, and they caught him in Sao Paulo. And if you guys don't know, Floyd was in several of my videos, and we all know that Floyd was very, very cringy and very strange. And I'm telling you from hanging out in person with him, very strange. I would have never thought nothing like that, but it's also not shocking. Like, it's based off how strange he was, it's not shocking. But when I was with Floyd, I'd never seen him look at any children or anything, or maybe I didn't notice, but I never.
Okay, so he's sitting there. I was muted again, but he's sitting there. He's laughing as he's going along talking about this, and he's saying that Floyd is very cringe. I'm telling you, Austin knows something about him that he's not saying, and that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. And I'm pretty sure, because he's trying to get in front of this. When he made this video, that's exactly what he was trying to do. But he knows something. The best thing he could have done was not say anything. And if he knew something, which I think he did, he should have reported it, like, right away. But especially now that Floyd has been arrested.
Never seen that kind of stuff, and I never even heard him bring up or hinting at it. And he only seemed to talk to adult women when I was around. But this shit is like really, really, like, this is like just crazy altogether. I mean, I've heard of pedophilia before, so I'm not really, it's not nothing new. I mean, this stuff happens a lot more than you think. There's a lot more people than you think that are involved in this kind of stuff. And to go further into it, you guys have heard me say on my channel, especially with like this whole hyper masculine, a lot of dudes that follow that red pill, super female traditional role thing. If you look at their, what do you call it? I'm sorry, I just woke up. I had to record this as soon as I woke up. Those dudes that have their criteria for the type of women they want. They want a woman that's a virgin, that's young enough to have all their 50, 60 kids that they make it seem like they want, and all these other very unrealistic expectations that fit only somebody that's in high school or below. Like, if you really think about it, when I was in high school, at least in America, women were not virgins by the time they were 14, like, on average. So if you're...
this is what I find really weird about this weirdo on the screen right now. He's explaining about American girls who are 14 are not being virgins by the time they get out, by the time they're 14 or whatever, right? By the time they get out of high school. What in the hell does that have anything to do with Floyd being arrested for what he's done? Absolutely, absolutely nothing. So this guy is deflecting. Not only is he trying to throw Floyd under the bus, he's deflecting at the same time. But let's go.
Looking for a virgin in this day and age, she's gonna have to be really, really young. And that may just be a coping mechanism just to find an excuse to do shit like this, to fuck around with kids, right? And I'm gonna play the video so you guys can see. I'm gonna let my editor play the video of everything.
Quiet! Yeah, that's it. That's it. Get your hands on the board. Keep your butt fuzzy as You're getting arrested for child exploration by the police officer. Okay? That's it. That's it.
He's not doing any resisting, right? He's not doing no, hey, what's going on? What are y'all talking about? And usually even guilty pedophiles will say, hey, what's going on? What are y'all talking about? Okay, yeah. But then they also have...
Isn't that kind of weird what he just said? Even guilty pedophiles? If anybody is a pedophile, aren't they all guilty? The wording that's coming out of this guy's mouth is just unimaginable. There's definitely, I mean, I've known it, but for those who don't know, and for some of the Kenyans that kind of like idolize this guy because he might make some positive videos about Kenya, I'm telling you, I've told you before in some chats, you don't know this guy. You have no idea who you're following, and sometimes if you see him in person, you have no idea who you're walking up to. But let's go.
This photo right here, with what appears to be a GoPro camera, a DJI Pocket 3 and a Pocket 2, a laptop and 5 phones, and 2 toys, I guess, that he was going to give the kids to play with, right? And when you read the article...
Okay, so I'm not going to play the rest of this video, but what I want everybody to know, especially the Kenyans who don't know, because pretty much all the Brazilians do know, is that, let's see what year. Okay, it was 2023 when Austin made some very rude, very disgusting comments about women in Brazil. And the news that broke out was CNN Brazil. So it was in Portuguese. I had this website also translated. Now I'm going to read a little bit of it. I don't think I'm going to read the whole article. Hold on one second here. All right, I got to get rid of that. Actually, it's a short article, so I'll just go ahead and read it. But basically, there was I don't know if I want to call her a feminist, but a woman saw this video in Brazil. She's pretty well known in Brazil. She fights for women's rights and things like that, right? She's a married woman. She basically went after him because of what Austin did in Brazil. And Austin has been doing the same thing in Kenya, talking about Kenyan women are really easy to sleep with. But let's just read this. This is the one that happened in 2023 on the 20th of March. So we're talking almost 3 years that this has happened. Time flies, but let's go. Brazilian prosecutors are investigating alleged sex tourism practices by an American YouTuber in Bahia. Austin Holloman made a series of videos in Salvador explaining how easy it would be to have relationships with women in Brazil. The public minister of Bahia, MPBA, started this Monday, 20, an investigation to investigate an alleged practice of the crime of sex tourism by the American YouTuber Austin Holloman, the one that's in Kenya right now, the one that was interviewed by Lynn Ngugi. Him and as well as Kid Greatness were both interviewed by Lynn Ngugi. Okay? Lynn Ngugi doesn't know what passport bros are. She really doesn't know. Okay? So let's go ahead. Between the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, Holloman published a series of videos on the streets of Salvador in which he recounts how easy it would be to have a relationship with a woman in Brazil. In one instance, he recounts how he was walking down the street and was approached by a woman, and that after 5 seconds they were kissing. According to him, this would be normal in Brazil. Later, he got her number and they arranged to go out. The YouTuber claims that the girl kept rubbing against his arm and that she said he was affectionate, in addition to asking about his life and family. On Holloman's YouTube channel, which has over 50,000 subscribers at that time, you think he has about 100,000 more now, like around 150,000 now. There are also posts claiming that Brazilian women desire financial stability in order to date, as well as exhibitionist images of women in bikinis. There are videos with the same theme in other countries. The influencer encourages foreigners watching the video to grab their passports and come to Brazil. After being criticized, Holloman deleted one of the videos and stated on social media that a handful of Brazilians will ruin Brazil's reputation if they continue attacking me. I love the people of Brazil, but these negative people need to leave me alone, he continued. Contacted by CNN, the public prosecutor officer stated that it has initiated proceedings. See? It has initiated proceedings. So they started checking on this in 2023 to investigate the alleged crime of sex tourism on his part. The information is being duly analyzed so that appropriate measures can be taken. CNN is also trying to contact the YouTuber, but has not yet received a response. So he didn't respond. He didn't respond at all. He did respond to a Houston, Texas reporter that reported him, but that was like the only news in America that was even covering this. So it didn't make much traction. But when Floyd was arrested, there's another report, I don't have it up, but there's another report where they used the video we just saw of Austin in the red shirt. They used that video in that report. So they arrested Floyd, so why would they use Austin's video in that report? One, because of this in 2023, and two, because him and Floyd were traveling together. They were sex touring together. Okay? All right, so let me just go ahead and put this in the chat. So when your web browser asks you to translate, just choose English. But let me go ahead and put it in the chat for you guys. So for the ones, especially in Kenya, you don't know, this is something you need to read. So I'm just going to put CNN Brazil. All right, so there it is. All right, so let's go on to the next one. Now, this gentleman here is from Ghana. He does a lot of interviews, mainly of African Americans moving to Africa, or maybe even just traveling. So this is him and Austin Holloman, and this was over 2 years ago. I'm not on his website, but it's over 2 years ago. Let's go ahead, check the interview of what they're talking about. But at the end, the person who reposted this, he clipped another video that came from Austin, and listen to what he says about Brazilian women. Let's go.
Now the Ghanaian men are approaching you more than
yeah. And you clean cut, well groomed, you look like you work out, the button is open. That's the look. They love that. So if you're hanging around that side of town, they will come after you. Like, based on your mannerisms, if I didn't even know you and you're lurking around that neighborhood, I would assume you're one of them.
Well, I wasn't over.
Really? Yeah, we were just having this discussion earlier because I spoke with a Ghanaian woman and she was like, in this area, you'll run into a lot of, down low men. Yeah, in Osu. Yeah.
Oh, in Ghana too?
Yeah, like gay men.
I don't know that. Like, I could put a wig on you and you could pass for a female. Like, you have a feminine look.
But, when you have the clean look, it's confusing.
No, I think what it is too is I think we're missing a major point though. You have a very, like, I could put a wig on you and you could pass for a female. Like, you have a feminine look. Like, as far as your yeah, like your nose is not thick and wide, you don't have big lips. It's a compliment though. Yeah. Because if I didn't know you and I didn't meet you and I'm just going off of what I see on your YouTube, as a woman, I wouldn't date you. And the reason why I would say it is this. Sometimes on your channel, some of the things that you say to describe women, it comes off like you're objectifying women.
You heard that? So this is a woman that's being very polite to Austin, being very honest with Austin, not being, combative with him in any way whatsoever. And this is what she notices as well. So she's not trying to chase him away, but she is telling him, and he hasn't changed. After this day, he still didn't change. He remained the same and gotten worse. Because the longer you go about being this type of way, the worse you get. Let's go.
Like, you want a woman like this, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. It's kind of like you're willing to just, like a bee, hop around and just sample. You're not looking to find anything to settle with per se. Like, you're not looking for a woman to be with as a one-woman man, but you're sampling. You want to be where you can have a good time. You want easy. That's how it comes off. Forgot to ask him a key question though. As I mentioned, you're a handsome young man. You, in my opinion, you shouldn't have any problems with approaching women and somebody being standoffish towards you. So that's a shock to me that you would say that you've experienced that.
What you mean?
Like me.
You see? Now he's complained about women a lot, like American women are not attracted to him. He acts weird or whatever he says that they say. The thing is that the guy is weird. He is weird, and maybe American women ain't his thing, but the way he's gone about it and becoming a sex tourist and all this other stuff, it doesn't bode well. So you went from somebody that was allegedly a barber in Texas, making good money, and traded all that in to go seek box in other countries as a sex tourist. And these women, this woman here, is just telling him so politely about who he really is in a very polite way. But let's go.
So why would you?
That's the problem.
Are you kidding me? That's the
You
reality.
work on yourself, and then I'm like, why the hell is everybody like this?
So you're telling me looking like you're at a bar, you try to tell a girl hello, and she's standoffish in the U.S.
I've had plenty of. Oh, I'm just out with my friends tonight. And I'm like, okay, well that's one. It happened again. I'm like, that's why I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? It must be something wrong with me. I go to Brazil. I said, fuck all y'all. I'm not dealing with y'all no more.
Even in Brazil, it's super easy in Brazil, right? But you'll never hear me exaggerate how easy it is. I'm gonna keep it real. You could fuck 365 women in Brazil every year. You could. You could.
I rest my case on that one. I mean, he's said these things many a times, in different places. But he's picking Brazil. So this is what that article was about in 2023 is exactly what we just saw right there. Is exactly. But in 2023, he was telling other sex tourists like him, go get your passports. Or if you're not a sex tourist yet, get a passport so you could be a sex tourist. That's what he did. So I don't blame Brazilian women being angry at him. They had every right to. Now this video, we only have a couple more videos to show and then we're going to be done. But this video is a bunch of clips and I need you all to really pay attention to this. This is over at David Smith. So you can see the Floyd Wallace files, Austin Holloman exposed. That's this one. So this was put up 4 days ago. But a lot of clips that I was going to go out and just kind of like individually show, he pretty much put the ones that I wanted already in this video. But let's go.
I got these glasses for a reason. They record. Yes, they record. So you're going to make a lie about me. Go ahead. I got this right here. So they record and they're pretty good. I mean, they're not the best quality. They're like low grade 7, high grade 480p, but you can see they're not good in the dark, though. I'll tell you that. If it's dark out, they will not work. So, time for some colder frozen? I don't know, man. I don't want to be another Austin Holloman in Brazil. God. No offense. My name is Terry Wilson. I am from the United States. I saw you and I thought you was gorgeous. And I was wondering if I could get your WhatsApp or Instagram to get to know each other. Here you go. Wow, okay. Well, ciao, ciao. Hasta, what's it? Ciao, ciao. We're going to have a lot of fun on these vehicles. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, how are you doing this?
Oh no, the police!
Oh no.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Get your hand on the board.
But we got Fred, and we go to the beach, find the gay area, sit in the gay area. I'm telling you, bro, gay dudes here in Brazil throw the best alley-oops. And we got Floyd. Floyd is a subscriber of mine. He was on one of my live streams.
That lady in the United States.
He said he was inspired by the video, so he came out here to Brazil, and that means a lot that people are actually watching the videos to the point where I inspired them to come out here. Came out here with nowhere to stay. So we got to work on him getting him an Airbnb or a hotel. That was a bold move he took right there. And Floyd didn't bring no clothes either, so we're gonna have to take him to the mall and get him some gear.
Now, I just recently, on the 28th, I said I had an interview with jrello, and I asked jrello, do you know that Floyd came to see Austin in Brazil because he was inspired by him, he brought no clothes with him. He brought no money for accommodations. And you can see here, Austin is saying exactly all those things that he didn't come with and why he came. And Floyd is not rejecting that fact in this video. So you can see this is the beginning of them being together. So this video is probably 2023 or maybe even 2022. Okay, but let's go.
And cut his hair up too. I need to get my hair cut too. We're gonna get Floyd all the way together.
Right about that.
And we're gonna let him get a testimony of what it was like being 2 weeks with Austin. And did he experience what the hell I hyped up out here? The news for calling them easy as they said, which I never said that. I bet you I can still go get some pussy in Brazil because I never did this. If you decide to spend 2 weeks in Brazil, in Rio for the first city, you can run through a lot of women pretty easily there. Even in Brazil, it's super easy in Brazil, right? But you'll never hear me exaggerate how easy it is. I'm gonna keep it real. You could fuck 365 women in Brazil every year. You could. You could.
Hey, Kobe, I see you in the chat. Thank you for coming in. I see somebody, Bobby Yeds. Thank you for being here as well. Let's go ahead and continue with this. Let me bring it back just a little bit.
You could. You could. Versus if I go to Brazil, I can get a different chick every single day if I want to. Say I can get 3 chicks a day in Kenya if I want to. See, I got put on the news for calling them easy.
Okay, so let's play that back a little bit. Let's play what he just said. Let's just play what he said sitting on that bed.
Could. You could. Versus if I go to Brazil, I can get a different chick every single day if I want to. Say I can get 3 chicks a day in Kenya.
You heard that. So you heard what he just said about Brazil, but you also heard what he just said about Kenya. So he's talking about, because you can't get what do you call it? Well-raised women in Kenya 3 a day. It's not going to happen. Not without them being prostitutes. So he's coming to our countries and looking to pay for bucks, and he's promoting sex tourism for him as well as other men to come to Kenya, to come to Brazil, wherever, to pay for bucks. So Kenyans, I really need you to understand who it is that you're admiring just because you only watched a few of his quote-unquote positive videos. You don't know that guy at the bottom of the screen. You don't know him at all. You don't. Let's go.
See, I got put on the news for calling them easy as they said, which I never said that. A sex tourist? Oh. We're all sex tourists. Look, we've been in boot.
You heard it. He admitted he's a sex tourist. So these guys, they protect each other. They protect each other. You know, it's funny. A lot of these guys have maybe a little beefs with each other because of where they're from or whatever. But when it comes to sex tourism, they will back each other up. Even strangers that don't know one another, it's because they're into the same thing. That's why they back each other up. So it's like a so-called code of honor that they have amongst themselves, and it's sick. But let's go.
We've been in Krakow, Poland for about 30 hours. And because Floyd has not had the success he's had with the women, he said he's checked out, which means when I hear checked out, that means I'm done approaching. Checked out, I'm done with these bitches. Tinder and Bumble out here, waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
You get all these matches and then nobody responds. We're going to Warsaw because Krakow is extremely boring. It's extreme.
So they're going to Warsaw. They're going to Poland. You see? So it's not just all these other countries that people mainly go to. They're also going to Eastern Europe. But let's go.
Really boring. So we're about to pack our bags and we're probably going to stay for like 4 or 5 days. If we like it, we'll come back. We'll get all of our stuff and we'll go back and we won't come back to Krakow until maybe another day or something like that. It's checked out. I'm done with these bitches.
After the death of Kevin Samuels, Austin Holloman would become more popular, and so would the Passmore Bros. They would sort of fill part of the void that Kevin Samuels left behind, although their ideas were diametrically opposed to each other. And while Austin Holloman was traveling the world, he would meet up with another guy by the name of Floyd Wallace. He's the guy that's arrested in Brazil for you know what. Austin Holloman would find himself in trouble for basically being accused of asking inappropriate questions to Brazilian women, which would cause him to leave town immediately.
Issue in Brazil was nothing like this, right? I had an issue with them saying that I was hypersexualizing women or encouraging men to come meet women down there or something like that. You know, whenever I had that Brazil incident and I left, and they had like a criminal investigation for like, it was like a prostitution ring that this woman that I never met in my life was trying to accuse me of doing. And of course, nothing came about it. They ended up closing it because it was bullshit from the start. Whenever I was living in Salvador and that whole thing happened in January, I was already in Thailand and the police were at my house ready to arrest me that I was staying at in Salvador.
One of the examples he used was his own run-in with foreign law, but he said luckily he made it out of that situation. I was thinking that he was kind of correlating the Floyd Wallace situation.
From what I remember, looking at the interview from the reporter down in Brazil who brought the story to light, it was about him pretty much selling the videos and the sexual videos that he was having with the women that he was dealing with down in Brazil without their consent. That has statues on it. Like I said, I think.
Now that she brought that up, he made a video that I sent to Nana, and I can't remember exactly where or exactly which video, but a part of that video, he was talking about he's going to start raising the price on his webinars, teaching people how to make money online so they can live like him abroad. But the one that was coming up for that video, he said he was only charging $10 for it. And he said, and this is what got me because this was like maybe a couple days before Floyd got arrested. In that video for that webinar, he was saying he would teach you, the people in the audience of the webinar, how to take photos with the camera. Not video, but photos. And get this, how to make money off them. He didn't specify. But I was thinking, he made it sound as if you can make some really good money. And I'm like thinking, well, you talk about to National Geographic or what, with your phone? Right? It didn't make any sense to me. But when he said, you can sell them, that got me thinking. And then shortly after that, Floyd gets arrested in Brazil. For what? Sexually exploiting kids. Images, videos. And I'm wondering, since he taught Floyd so much, did he teach Floyd how to do that? That's what I'm wondering. Because right now it's like a burning question I have. What kind of training is he going to give these people who paid $10 for a webinar on how to take photos, right? And then make money off of them. Make money off of doing what? But let's go.
It's Act 27 under the national status for Brazil that if you're selling this sexual acts and deeds or inviting people in lieu of someone's pleasure, those are crimes. And that holds time for that. So that's why he actually skipped out of Brazil before they can actually collect him.
Y'all think we should sit here or?
Now check this out, guys. This might be Colombia or Brazil. Watch what he does to a woman that was already there and they just got there. Watch what he does. And this is what he does on a regular.
Should we go over there? Or should we go over here? Oh, boat just hit me back. Hold on. So they don't sit where the young women are at. I mean, there's some young women over here, but I think we'll be straight right here, man.
Did you know about?
See what he did? He ruined those two women, their day at the beach. He ruined it. He ruined it. And what did that lady from About Brazil say in the beginning? Don't film the women, or don't film our women. Talk about situations just like that. Don't film the women.
Brazil at 6 years old, sir. About Brazil at 6. Did you know about Brazil at 6 years old, sir?
6 years old, we had the internet, so I had access. I always liked the light-skinned, curly hair women that they had down there. They're good, yeah.
Why were at 6 years old, we're still talking about girls are icky and have cooties? What kind of household were you raised in?
I was watching pornography at 6. I wasn't the average 6-year-old, I guess.
No, sir, you said that you were watching pornography at 6 years old. Tell me more.
Pretty much. That's
what kind of child rearing has a household where a 6-year-old is watching pornography to the point that they can desire Brazilian women?
I mean, as long as you have access to the internet and your mother.
I know a bunch of people with access to the internet. 6-year-olds ain't watching porn at 6, sir.
Well, look, Google was around, so it was easy to find.
For a 6-year-old to be watching Brazilian women in porn and valuing that at 6 years old, now that's how they were raised.
A sex tourist. Oh, we're all sex tourists. Look, I was watching pornography at 6. I wasn't the average 6-year-old, I guess.
Reason fellas ain't following you down there, because we already know the teach.
I was just down there and I met with a lot of Americans while I was down there.
Yeah, all of y'all are down there paying and tricking and everything else, and that's perfect.
Now, I did pay 2 times in Medellin. I did pay 2 times in Medellin.
He pays all the time. He pays all the time. Why? Because he has no game. He doesn't. He doesn't have game with Kenyan women, Brazilian women, with American women. He has no game. And he makes his own life hard for himself. He's paying for box everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes. And this is an old video. This is like 2022 right here. When this guy, Jason Black, was interviewing him. He's always doing that. So that is sex tourism. That's illegal in Kenya. I don't know if it's illegal in Colombia, but that's illegal in Kenya. So Kenyans, this is what Austin Holloman, who's also partly responsible for jrello coming to Kenya and doing the shit that he did. Okay? This is Austin Holloman. He's in Kenya buying prostitutes, and he's encouraging, and he's been encouraging for a long time, other men to come to Kenya just for that. Let's go.
Did pay 2 times.
I'm sure you paid a lot more.
I always ask myself, what would my life be like if I grew up in Brazil? Would I be this thirsty?
These are Asian chicks right here. Hold on, watch this. Hello. Hey. Hey. What's your name?
None of your business.
None of my business. What, bro? Bro, you.
And to him, every time a woman rejects him, he always, from what I can recall, he always has to call them a bitch. So a woman who's trying to protect her own virginity, trying to protect her own sanity, has a boyfriend, has a husband, when they reject him, they're a bitch to him. So this is one of those women that are not prostitutes that rejected him, who are Asian, probably when they're in Thailand. This is one of those women that, remember I said in the beginning, these guys, a lot of them, what they'll do is if they want you as a prostitute for the day, they will start offering you laptops, cameras, like GoPros and stuff like that, money, maybe it's, sometimes a visa to America, a green card, all that other stuff. So that woman wasn't even a pro. That was somebody that just got harassed. And he called her a bitch. Well, let's go.
She just said, I said, what's your name? She said, none of my business.
Yeah, I prefer Rio over this. It's nice. It's a different crowd, but like, man, I don't give a fuck what crowd it is. If I can't get no dates or as easy as I want the dates, it doesn't matter. Like, if it's a job just to get a date, it doesn't matter how nice the city is.
So I had somebody leave a comment in my video saying that I need to humble myself. To keep it short, I won't be humbling myself.
That dream that he got to meet with me and him at the Airbnb, and the whole Airbnb got surrounded by cops. Yeah, it got surrounded. It was a dream, it wasn't real. It was a weird dream though. And Rilla was like, "I'm turning myself in, guys," and he was live streaming. And the live stream had my live stream had 700 people in it. His shit had 25,000. And they took him in. They arrested him, but the way they arrested him is they slammed him to the ground and they was punching on him, and I just kept filming it because I didn't know what else to do. And then they dragged him off to jail, and they left his phone with me, and he was still alive when they left his phone. So I told him what was going on. And I'm like, I just pretty much ended the live because he was getting hauled off, and try to get people to help him. So I'm reporting you to the Colombian National Police. There are so much evidence of you engaging in inappropriate behavior with M's. Well, you can go ahead and do that, and we'll see. We'll see how that works for Sheen James. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works out for you. False claims, but you have the right to report whatever you want. You can report anything you want, Rasheem James. Remember, there are legal consequences when you lie.
So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get then you must get cool. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on this one, you chuck it on your mother and you chuck it on your father, you chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister, you chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Someone that has been on my channel previously, and it is an American man, a black American man that is been arrested in Brazil for trying to engage in sex with minors. I guess in Rio, from what I saw, and they caught him in Sao Paulo. Floyd was in several of my videos, and we all know that Floyd was very, very cringy and very strange. And I'm telling you from hanging out in person with him, very strange. I would have never thought nothing like that, but it's also not shocking.
Austin Holloman is calling Floyd Wallace weird. He was always weird and strange. Bro, you the one brought this man. You the reason why we even know Floyd Wallace. You housed him, gave him clothes, traveled with him, stayed in hotels together, brought girls back to hotel rooms together.
Facts.
You guys were very close. Now he's weird. Obviously, this is a ploy to distance himself from Floyd Wallace. I wonder why.
What appears to be a GoPro camera, a DJI Pocket 3 and a Pocket 2, a laptop and 5 phones, and 2 toys, I guess, that he was going to give the kids to play with, right? If you're looking for a virgin in this day and age, she's going to have to be really, really young. Every time we would go to a new country or a new city, he would buy a new phone. I knew this dude had 2 or 3 phones. Maybe he was trying to just start fresh every time he did something and just start over. In the United States, you would have to have evidence or to be caught in the act. You would have to have concrete evidence or to be caught in the act. In places like Brazil or pretty much anywhere in the developing world that y'all would call second and third world countries.
Okay, let's go ahead and read this. Brazil has laws against corruption and illegal detention. Summary: no, you cannot pay Brazilian police to arrest someone without evidence. Police must have reasonable grounds, evidence, or suspicion before detaining someone. Serious arrests are checked by judges, not decided by direct police action alone. So the claim that someone can pay police to arrest a person without evidence is false. It's either misinformation, misunderstanding, or how the legal system works, or someone exaggerating about the point for the effect. So so Austin makes a lot of claims like that. I've seen him through the years make claims to one effect or the other, not necessarily about law, and he just doesn't know what he's talking about. He likes to think he knows what he's talking about, And all you have to really do is just research it. Like seriously, just research it. Doesn't mean you have to memorize it. If you forget, you can just go back and research it again. But this is typical of what he would say in a situation. But let's go. Oh, Nikki, by the way, thank you for coming in.
Right? They don't need evidence. They just, hey, okay, somebody paid us to come take you to jail. That's it. They don't need evidence. They just, hey, okay, somebody paid us to come take you to jail. That's it.
Brazil don't have a law or evidence to put somebody else in jail, to arrest somebody else. You don't know everything about my country. You don't know the law here because you got in trouble because you don't know, and you want to teach foreigners in your situation. You can't go back to Brazil, right? Can you explain why you can't come here for your new subscribers? I told you before, don't film women in Brazil. Don't film girls. Don't talk about sex tourism. Don't think about sex tourism in Brazil. The police have a lot of evidence to put Floyd in jail. The police had a lot of evidence against Floyd. You're wrong, because they were investigating him. Police here investigate everything before knock on your door and arrested you.
And that's right.
I got the Floyd thumbs up.
That's right. I call that my signature move when it comes to the ladies. The thumbs up.
Thumbs up drops the draws.
That's right. You say humble yourself. Well, ask these women in the States to humble themselves. And that's right.
I got the Floyd thumbs up.
That's right. I call that my signature move when it comes to the ladies. The thumbs up.
Thumbs up drops the draws.
That's right. You say humble yourself. Well, ask these women in the States to humble themselves, okay? They don't humble themselves when they're dealing with men. They think they're up here when they really like right here. So tell them to humble themselves. I had to make some edits to the video. There was some inappropriate moments in the video, and I don't know if I can upload on YouTube, so I just had to make some edits.
Okay, so we got a couple more videos, then we'll be done. Now, we're back to jrello. This is the time in the DR that Sosa, Dominican Republic, that jrello, with what he did just a few months ago in Kenya, he attacked a woman and another one. So he attacked a couple women. He denied it on my interview. Said the women are mid and ugly and all that stuff in Kenya. Basically, Kenyans gave him a hard time for what he had did. In my opinion, he should have been arrested, but in Kenya, unfortunately, if the victim does not make a police report, it's considered no crime. That's the unfortunate thing about it. Okay, so people will understand that jrello and Floyd both have met with each other and collabed with each other. And jrello told me that he only spent 4 hours with Floyd between this video and one other video. But let's go.
Was because it's not on the usually it's not on the menu. Yeah, it's not on the menu. So what happened was when he brought me the tab for it, I thought it was cheap because it just showed the grits. Well, you got us. I ain't got enough. I only got the one from Antoine, Deborah, and Greg up today. Got $50 in there, man. It's not as good as jrello's, man, but we work with it. Right? Subs are better than you. Hey.
Okay, so I just wanted to show a little bit of that they were together, but according to jrello, it was only for that day. I believe it was 2023, and it was for 4 hours. Okay, so this is Foreign Only, the YouTube channel. This is the one it's not where he's harassing the police. That's the other YouTube channel. This is Foreign Only. Let's see what it says here in the information here. There's really no information there. Okay, so let's go to live streams. I want to show you all something. And if you look at a lot of these females, I'm just going to have to general females in here. A lot of them look very young. Some of them look definitely of age, but then some of them look very young. And he's picking up quite a few of them. There's one particular video, and it's this one right here. You see how young that girl is? She looks 14 to me. Let's go ahead and play some of that.
She's saying that she's young. Is for the extreme delay. I do apologize. The weather is bad. It's still bad. But, you know, we're trying to get things done and go from there. So we got people, we should have people coming in now. Let me know how my...
As a matter of fact, let me read a couple of comments here. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Okay, so that was 9 days ago, but let's look at 10 months ago. All the funny comments that used to be under this video have been scrubbed away. That was 10 months ago. This other person says, where is this mall? Is this Puerto Plata? So this person's not even concerned about how old the girl is in the video. This person says underage. This one says, dude, weird. Okay. This person here is asking what mall it is. You know, some of these people in the comments were probably trying to lure him to the mall or somewhere else and get him. You never know. You never know. So not only is he doing this, but he's also risking his life at the same time by doing this. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and continue.
Connection is, I do apologize if the connection is really bad. Like I said, I can't help it. The internet is the way it is. The internet is the way it is. So if you're watching from the United States, put a one in the chat. I'm pretty sure everybody watching from the United States. But the connection was really. Well, no, she's a little camera shy, guys. So give her a break. A little camera shy. But we're going to the mall, and yeah, we're going to explore more. We can't really do much of exploring of Dominican Republic because it's rain. Will you go on Peso Man and Rumble? Will you go on Peso Man Rumble's channel for a fee? I will go on his channel when you donate $100 for it, bro. My time is valuable. So $50 for 30 minutes and $100 for an hour. I'm not playing with you guys. We're not doing free shit out here.
And this was supposed to be some kind of date, some type of date at the mall. Look at that. We have, what is it, Briona, $2. He's on a date with a child. And this person is protesting. So, this person's comments probably was not even going to be read, but you see how Floyd clicked on the comment in order for it to show up. Interesting. Very interesting.
So, I want... How you doing? Let me get...
Okay, I'm done watching that one. All right, so we're back to jrello. And this is more concentrated on Kenyans. We have to go back to this because this is one of many people who are very disgusting, and he went viral. But let's go ahead and go through these videos. And they're all short, so they're not going to take that long, but we need to go through them. We need to go through them because we need to know him, because he knows Austin Holloman, even though he said he never met him in person when he went to Kenya. He only met up with Kid Greatness. But we've seen him with Floyd, and then Floyd has been with Austin. So these guys are all connected, one way or another. Sometimes they fight with each other. Sometimes they're even in competition with each other, believe it or not. That's sick. But let's go.
I know you guys were interested in seeing like bad Johns, but I was just in the club last night and I'm like, oh my God, it's just mind boggling how many ugly to mid women are. I just can't believe that God just hit East Africa or Kenya with it just didn't bless them with the Johns that you guys, coming from America, this is definitely a downgrade as far as the average beauty level for sure, for sure. I know you guys were interested in seeing.
Well, in my opinion, they're not. Now, this next one is jrello is trying to pick up on a girl outside a club, and she rejects him, and then see how he treats her after the rejection. And it's a soft rejection. She wasn't rude, nothing like that. Check this out.
He's filming himself. We're YouTubers. We're YouTubers.
My what?
Hi, going good. You look nice. You going that visa or?
Yeah. I do want to go.
Hey, fuck it. Fuck the visa. Visa's dead. There's nobody there.
Where are you going?
To the crib. Be safe. You mid anyway.
Bro, you call him mid anyway?
He's mid.
What happened with
She's mid.
Bro, I stopped her for you to talk to.
She's mid. She's fucking mid, yo.
Bro,
like, you don't even understand, bro. These chicks are so mid, yo.
okay.
And then y'all talking about paying. You talking about paying to hit sixes at best. That's crazy, yo.
What?
He's filming himself.
See that? There was no call for that. There was absolutely no call for him to do that to her. She wasn't disrespectful in any kind of way, but he had to make sure that she heard his disrespect. Let's go.
These motherfuckers in Kenya is crazy, yo.
Bobby, yeah, I saw those finger tattoos as well.
They fucking cyber bullied me, yo. Oh my God, these fuckers done cyber bullied me out of this fucking apartment, yo. I'm never coming back here. Fuck Kenya, yo. Oh my God, these motherfuckers done cut off my power to my fucking apartment and came up here and kicking me out over the shit I did over the internet. Oh my mom. These motherfuckers in Kenya are honorary. These motherfuckers cut off my fucking power. I can't even take a fucking hot shower right now. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this shit, yo. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. These motherfuckers in Kenya are fucking cyber bullies. They fucking cyber bully me, yo. They cyber fucking bully me to my fucking death. They cut off the fucking power to the fucking Airbnb, yo. Oh my God, I can't believe it, yo. I can't believe this.
What jrello doesn't understand is that, Kenyans are extremely computer and mobile phone savvy, especially with the internet, way more than he is. And he's from the States. That's what he doesn't understand. And, there's this thing called Kenyans on Twitter, which is now Kenyans on X, since it's X. You had a lot of people on X that are in Kenya that were basically going after him. But I've talked with a lot of people, they didn't want to attack him for one reason, because Kenyans didn't want Kenya to be in the limelight of attacking a foreigner for what he did. Now, they could have attacked him for what he said about the women, but after this video, it's going to really be because of what he did after this, before this video, for this video to be what he's talking about now. He made a heinous crime. He did a heinous crime against a woman. A heinous crime. But let's go.
I can't believe these motherfuckers are this immature here. That's some immature ass shit. This would have never happened in the States. Oh my God, yo. I can't believe this. I'm never coming back here. Ever. Ever. I thought I was. These motherfuckers are insane. These motherfuckers are kids here. I can't believe this shit, yo. I really can't believe this shit. This motherfucker, I woke up I was emailing Airbnb. I went to send the fucking email, and the fucking Wi-Fi was, I'm like, I clicked on the light. I'm like, oh, my power's out. These motherfuckers didn't cut off the power to the unit, talking about they kicking me out. And I'm like, that's fine, but I have no way to fucking contact to set up some other fucking accommodations. And on top of that, I can't even take a fucking shower because the hot water's not fucking on. After I done paid my fucking money to stay here. Like I'm a fucking inmate in fucking prison that did some bad rec time or something. This is crazy. These motherfuckers in Kenya is crazy, y'all.
Okay, so this next video is really the reason why the Kenyans did all that. So let's check this out. Has been censored for good reason. He lied to me in the interview I had with him. He was saying that she attacked him. No, he attacked her. He said that she knocked the phone out of his hand. I think that really did happen, but when you look at this video, you understand why. Just like that other guy in that other country who was filming that lady on the street. He was filming her, and she was already naked. Now it's blurred out, but he was filming her, and she didn't want to be filmed. So she went to go reach the phone out of his hand to knock it out of his hand to stop filming her, and then he attacked her. Let's go.
No. You said yes. No. That's the only reason I brought you back, because you said yes. Money. I paid you already. I gave you $10,000 to break. To come here.
You didn't give it to me. You gave it to the company.
Well, yeah, but you lied. So you lied? You lied to me? Get dressed. Put your clothes on. Put your fucking clothes on.
Arrested right now.
Ooh.
Continue.
Put your clothes on. I'm taking you back. Because you lied. Put your clothes on. When I tell you put your clothes on, put your fucking clothes on. Fuck I look like. Put your clothes. Put your clothes on, bitch. Put your fucking clothes on there. No.
Now it's obvious that she knocked the phone away from him or knocked it down. She did not attack him. So he lied to me saying, you need to watch the video again, watch the video again. I watched the video. He attacked her. He's at fault for this. So let's go to part 2 on this one. The phone is already on the ground looking up or whatever.
Oh my fucking God, yo. Crazy ass bitch. All of that for another fucking $20, dumbass bitch. Oh, I shouldn't have knew. I shouldn't have brought those dumbass bitches back.
Yeah, so that one might not actually be the part 2. That was a different one. But still, you see what I'm saying. So I want to show you guys. I want to wrap it up with a couple other passport bros that don't seem to be reacted against. One of them has been to Kenya, and I think he's only been to Kenya. He's an American. And the other one is from, I forget which country in Eastern Europe. Now, the guy from Eastern Europe is making way too much money as a passport bro. And he has an off-site website for crash out content and maybe even corn. So he's making money from that as well. And he's listing that website on his YouTube channel. Okay. That same guy, the reason I found out about him because I have some friends in Uganda who are all YouTubers, 3 ladies. One of them reached out to me and said, I feel kind of funny about this guy. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I don't feel right about him. And he called me up asking to come back and collab again. Okay, so this guy is just like all these other guys that show big butts and all that other stuff, in the bedroom stuff they're not supposed to be doing, right? He does the exact same thing. But that wasn't the content that he went after when he went to Uganda to meet up with my friends. So she said, would you look at his YouTube channel and tell me if he's all right? And immediately I said, this guy's a passport bro. He is a passport bro. And the story that he went for is because out of one of the three ladies in her tribe, they practice labia elongation. Okay? Labia elongation. I don't use that word much. That's why I'm having trouble. So that's why he went there, because his audience want to hear, not just see, but they also want to hear and I guess fantasize about cultures who do things like that. Some type of fetish of hearing, I guess, taboo things to them or whatever. It's just, that's why he went there. So she asked to take him to take the videos down. He refused to do it. So we're going to look at him and the other guy. So one moment here. Okay. Some of you may have seen this guy, but let me get to just one of the Kenyan ladies that he's with. And he's doing these stupid little couch interviews after he's already slept with them. All right? In this video, he's got kids in his videos. And why would you have kids in your videos when you have some other disgusting stuff like these here? But let's check this out. Let's check this one out. Totem poles. Wait a minute. I think there's another one I want to see. Oh, yeah, he goes back further than I thought. All right. Okay, this guy is super creepy. Like, seriously.
When I met you, you were wearing a uniform and you had an AK-47 slung around your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was curious about you. That's why I talked to you the first time. Yeah. So, you were the only person to help me when I had malaria. You brought me food. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you too. You're welcome.
Yeah. And you said that if I can't be your husband, you want me to introduce you to another Mzungu?
See that crap? You see that crap? That's what I'm talking about. They go to Kenya, they go to Uganda, they go to Tanzania, and you know, everywhere pretty much. And then this is what they do. This is what they do. He's creepy like Floyd. And so we dodged a bullet by Floyd not coming to Africa. But like I said, Brazil, they weren't so lucky. But at least they got him. So I'm talking to you Kenyans, my fellow Kenyans. This guy right here, if he comes back, he needs to be deported. You need to report this guy because this guy has sick videos. He's asking these sick questions because it's a real man wouldn't ask a woman these types of questions. Never would he ever do that. This is a man who has low self-esteem. The questions come from a man who has low self-esteem within. That's why he's asking these questions. And not only that, so he can try to make a little money off of it. But these guys are perverted. They're all perverts. Let's go.
Okay, what kind of Mzungu do you want?
What type do you have? For me, I know only the white. Any. But.
How about a big fat one?
Maybe?
How about a big fat Mzungu?
No.
Big fat hairy Mzungu.
So I don't even want to watch it. So let's go to the other guy. I'm gonna have to go to because he's got this weird name. I'm gonna have to go to WhatsApp and pull the name. to the other guy. Dua Pinto. And I guess his real name is Tudor. And this is and for anybody that knows, what's his name? Big Boss, that's been on Razor Rays, he asks those same stupid type of questions like this guy. It's the same thing. Okay, so you can even look at this guy's avatar. It's a woman with the bikini with the tattoo on her butt cheek. And then you see a guy like a thug in the background behind him with the machine gun. So remember I said he's got that website that shows like, I think I said cringe stuff, like poverty and stuff like that, violence and all that, plus sex tourism. So he combines both of them together. Not just on his YouTube channel, but just imagine what he's not allowed to have on YouTube is on that website. Well, let's go. So this is Dua Pinto. See right here? Look at this. On the latest, he's got a woman on top of him in bed, right? We already know what that means. When we look at that, we already know what that means. He's got this one here of a Kenyan lady that's shaking her butt all over the beach. He's the same. This is the guy that went to Uganda and went to see my friends. And now they have to vet everybody. And this is the video. This is one of the videos.
Salutări, începem un nou video.
He's with friends of mine. These are actually personal friends of mine.
Pe dealurile din Kampala. Astăzi o avem pe Gloria, dacă vă aduceți aminte din clipul cu wrestling-ul, cu luptele. Și ea era acolo și...
Been concentrated yet on YouTube.
Yes, after this video it will be...
To greet you in your language. How can I say that?
You can say, ce faci?
Ce faci?
Ce faci?
Ce faci, fans?
Tocmai am văzut că la ultimul video 75%.
Okay, so the one with the headdress, she's the one who contacted me. I've known her for years. I know her and her husband. She's the one that's really concerned big time because I guess she was getting a lot of negative comments on her channel with her videos, and I think that's what freaked her out. Because like I said, this one here, he's just getting information from the story of her tribe, right? So they're from two different tribes, but they're good friends. They're my friends. I've known them for like 6 years. And this is just totally wrong. Totally wrong.
Which kind of our foresight?
There is even a region where they do the genital mutilation.
Really? In Kenya?
Illegal. But now it is illegal. But here in Central, they have not. It is not illegal. It doesn't affect anyone.
But that one kills the woman's feelings.
Yeah, kills the woman's feelings.
And she's neutral.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous too.
Yeah.
What's that tradition like? What's that? Okay.
Genital.
Yeah. So yeah.
They used to do it because they.
Okay, so I don't know where in the video it is, but right now they're talking about female circumcision, which is different than the elongation that I was talking about. But he came there for the story of elongation. That's why he was there. And it's sick guys like this making money hand over fist. And it's just like, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this thumbnail with the green arrow where it's pointing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This guy has also been to Colombia. He's also been to Brazil. The other guy, he's only been to Kenya as far as I know. But this guy's making a lot of money. Let me see if I can, like if we go up here, this is his website. I don't know if RO is for, no, it's not for Russia. It's for something else. Nana probably knows what country .ro is for. Okay, but that's the website I was talking about. That guy needs to be in jail. Big time. Big time. Passport bros. These are passport bros. Look at this in Uganda. Do you see a difference between the passport bros in America and this guy? I don't see any difference. Other than skin color, I don't see any difference. Look at this. This guy really doesn't care. You go further down, we start getting into Colombia and other countries. So this guy's been doing it for a while. So Kenyans, I mainly do this video for you guys because Austin, guys like this are still there. They're still there. They're breaking Kenya law. All right? Austin is breaking Kenya and American law. Both of these guys are promoting sex tourism. And promoting sex tourism is against the law in America as well as Kenya. Now, Tudor, this guy, I don't know if it's illegal in his country to promote sex tourism, but it's illegal in Kenya. And these guys need to be reported. They are making a lot of money off of Kenyans for this. I'd rather somebody come to Kenya, to be honest with you, and make money for somebody cooking, you know, how restaurants are ran and not paying those people for it. But this guy here and Austin Holloman, they're making money off of you being gullible. And we got to stop being gullible because these guys are dangerous. These guys are very dangerous. So I'm going to go ahead and end it right here, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. This is Mr. Nice with Kung Fu Fanta. Let's see here. Bobby Red says, yeah, I already read that. Okay. So we had one dislike. Now, I wonder why. That was towards the beginning, by the way. So it makes me wonder who would want to dislike based off of this particular information that I'm giving out. It's the people who are passport bros. They disliked the video. So whoever that was. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get going, guys. Let me figure out how to turn this off. Like I said, I'm using some new software. Okay, I see the finish button. Cheers.